So I'm curious. You guys all use Facebook,
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody likes to admit it, but you guys use WhatsApp.
No, I would proudly say I use WhatsApp.
I would unproudly say I have to use, but it's one of those required things because if you're not on WhatsApp, you're questioned, especially in the Indian community for some reason. WhatsApp is like big. It's bigger than it is for like local
I
community.
don't know why people use WhatsApp so much. And I have my notifications off on WhatsApp because there's just too much coming through. I have an account just because to interact with, family back home. Once in a while, there's certain people that just like to have those WhatsApp groups. But other than that, I don't like to engage. And what's funny is that sometimes, because I'm in real estate, my clients will travel overseas and they start texting me on WhatsApp. And I'm not responding because I'm not I'm not really an active user. And so on my WhatsApp, it says personal so that people know not to expect the same service, same response that you would otherwise if you reach out to me via text and stuff. So WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, I use.
Right.
Instagram. Well, Instagram, I have an account, but I don't know. I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
Like, I'm not into just keep sharing videos. Like, why do I need to do that? So Instagram to me is not as practical for me.
Okay. What about TikTok?
I look at the videos for information if I need to, but I don't have an account.
Are you an active user on TikTok or consumer?
I would be a
consumption?
I would be a
Okay.
consumer of TikTok, but not a producer of any
What about
kind.
you?
So okay, this is kind of funny. So my TikTok name is it's for my dog.
You're putting
The
this out
account is-
there. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, so it's for my dog. I created the account for my dog Milo, and the account on TikTok, his name is Pooch Preet Singh.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So the problem is
Little
sometimes
pooch.
sometimes I forget that. So I might comment on something.
You're like, whose dog is that?
And the comment comes from, like, let's say you post a
Serious
video.
political conversation. Pooch Preet has input on it.
So let's say you post something serious, right? Pooch Preet Singh, which is a dog, he's going to comment something very serious on it.
You're like, this is a creep.
So if I
This is a
see that,
troll.
I'm gonna be like, who? I need to block this contact.
So the funny thing is, okay, one of my friends, she's a content creator, so she'll post really cute videos, dancing videos and stuff like that. And I'll comment on it and sometimes forgetting that my name is Pooch Preet Singh. So I'll put like a fire emoji, like, oh my God, like
Creepy.
really cute. And I think people think like, oh, some guy.
Guy.
Because they don't see Pooch Preet. So they think, oh, some guy is posting. So I noticed people will like look into my account to see who it is.
Okay. And it's Milo.
It's Milo's
It's probably
account.
some guy out there thinking that's his competition.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Who is this
Pooch
Pooch
Preet
Preet?
Singh?
Why is he leaving a fire emoji?
There is someone who's taking this account very seriously because I see the same person.
So Pooch Preet Singh might give medical
That's
advice
hilarious.
like, I think you should get second advice from doctor, second consultation, or this is how you apply for passport, right?
Yeah.
Like the different things.
Yeah, like,
He's
yeah,
very
you're not
smart
legit.
dog.
You're
He's a
not
very
legit.
smart
Yeah.
contact to have.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's a
exactly.
little pretensioso.
He is totally
I
a
think
pretend.
he should get an award for
I
pretend samosa.
think he should be the pretend samosa of the week
Yes.
if we like to please.
Oh, yeah.
I like to offer up his name for as a
Nomination.
candidate.
I concur. I vote for him.
I vote for him
little
too.
Pooch Preet.
Pooch Preet Singh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Except he has to come in the show to accept the award.
Oh, that'd be adorable.
We should do that. We should do
Okay, I
that.
have a question. What are your favorite type of posts? Like when you see those posts, I know we always talk about like, this fires me up and this is annoying, but what do you like to see?
Funny stuff. I mean, by far, like what?
Like comedians or
Not comedians. Like when regular people are funny, means you realize with social media. One thing I'm realizing is that people generally are very funny, and you'll see these accounts where I'm like, these people. There's one account that I recently saw. They post stuff, and it's called That Rich Couple, and they just go in there and they're pretending to be like super rich, right? And they post things. They're always wearing like tennis outfits, matching, always
gosh,
matching.
okay.
So that kind of stuff, I'm like, this is brilliant. It's so funny, and it's not hurting anyone. I don't like that kind of comedy that's like very negative or meant to hurt or label or
Put
like.
downs. Yeah.
I like comedy, which to me is smart comedy,
Right.
witty, like from like more from the brain, like really
I think
thinking.
it's more challenging
Yeah.
to do that, to be funny without being negative or resorting to having to like, cheap shots, basically.
Exactly.
What
Yeah.
about you? What's your favorite type of
social
Posts.
media
Yeah.
posts? All kinds. I mean, I love funny because I think funny helps us deal with navigate some of the complex issues. Like, we are kind of push and pull of two communities, where Desi, but also California Desi. Like, there's a specific brand of just being Californian also. So we are California and we're Desi community. So there's lots of complexities to that. So I think comedy helps you navigate through that.
Yeah.
We can laugh at some stuff, and some stuff, I don't want to hear, it's offensive. But I also like just people giving information. Like, for example, teachers have a lot of funny right now, just accounts
like
with humor.
parodies or satires?
Like there's an
yeah.
account like Bored Teachers, and it's the funniest thing ever. So there's satire, but it's also the realities of life.
I also saw a really, really cool post by this girl. She was like an influencer, very famous influencer. And then I guess she became a school teacher. And she did this post about, she's Canadian, she did this post about celebrating Gurpurab in her classroom. And it was very cute about how she decorated the whole classroom and her front door, and it was very educational. I like those kind of posts, it's like feel good. It's like, oh, you can do that in school, which obviously we weren't exposed to. We didn't have that opportunity.
Yes, and I think that's what social media is good for. That's
Yeah.
what I love social media for, because I think it's given voice to people who normally didn't have a voice. Because unless you could approach a multi-million-dollar corporation to run your story, you had no voice. So social media is sort of that grassroots level of people's media, okay?
Yeah.
Good and bad of it, but it is, at the end of the day, it is people-created content, which I love. I love that thing about social media.
And it does have good and bad. I can tell you my favorite post. May I share that with you? Okay. So I love the old people posts. Like people when they post videos about their grandparents or people posting videos about, like, for instance, there's this elderly gentleman, okay, Sardar. And he does these posts where he just plays, I think he plays Dilruba. I think that's what the instrument's called. And he just plays it on TikTok.
Oh, cute.
And there's
You have to
one
share
post
that.
after another, after another, after another. And it's just like you can tell he put it down, presses record, and then he plays it, and then he turns it off, those are such feel-good videos. People posting videos about their grandma. There's actually one video. There's this guy, he's out of Canada too. And he does this sort of puppet, but it's a grandmother's
I've seen
puppet.
it, yes.
I have watched those
my God.
multiple times
yeah.
because it's such a feel-good type of post. It's like, oh, somebody spent time to create that, but you forget it's a puppet. It just reminds you of your life. It reminds me of moments with my mom,
It's
just
like small moments.
wonderful.
So this puppet with the glasses and chunni, and
She's
she's
making
always
karele.
saying cha.
Why aren't you sending
I
this
thought
to
you
me?
knew.
No, I'm like, it's funny. Now, the feeling I'm getting right now is a different kind of feeling. It's, what would you call it? Social media, like you didn't
Missing out.
share. Like, it's funny. It's funny because I share a lot. I don't know. I send you guys a bunch of Instagram, like, because if I like something, I think about like, who would appreciate it?
Yeah.
You guys don't get everything because there's stuff that I'll only send to, one of my other friends who's interested in a certain subject, right? But there's stuff that I'll think about. I'm like, oh, Kavita will really like it, or Benita will like this one. So I send you guys a lot. I need to receive some interesting stuff too. That you guys are like watching some puppet shows.
It's like we're
I
having
need
our
to,
own conversation.
Yeah.
You're being left out.
I'm like, where's my puppet video? I want to see that to grandma.
I must have sent it to you. I can't believe you
No.
didn't know that.
But I think it's an algorithm. They
Yeah.
just come to our feed
Yeah.
just because we watched one or two.
Yeah.
They'll come
But
to
then
your
share.
feed. But then I put, and then you press follow because that's
Yeah.
how you
Right.
get them.
Yeah.
But I'm usually like, they're playing and I'm working. I'm not necessarily sharing with people. That's the other thing about social media. It's kind of like has its own parallel life to your life. I am writing a paper, let's say, or grading a paper, and this social media is kind of running, and I might take like 5-minute break, and I might just go on that.
5-minute break.
Yeah.
It
Most
goes
of the
into-
time, it's like that's one of the things. I mean, I actually that's pretty impressive that you can take a 5-minute
No,
break and
5-minute can mean 15 minutes
okay.
also.
Okay.
I actually
okay,
set an
then
al-
I feel
actually
like you're
set
more
an
normal.
alarm.
Huh?
I have an alarm. Like
Okay.
I'll set an alarm for 10 minutes. Like, okay, I'm gonna forgive myself to be on social media for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what happens is it rings and then I press snooze.
You're like, wait, I'm watching the grandma video.
Hang on, I'm almost done. I'm almost done,
It's
right?
like comedy hour. Stop
It is addictive because you're like, oh, I just want to one more, and pretty soon it's like, 15, 20 minutes in. But that's when like the guilt comes in. After 20 minutes, like, no, I gotta
But
get
I
off.
think the best thing about social media is I hear from, everybody, but specifically like our community who's in UK or somebody who's doing something in Australia or somebody, and you get to know these people at a personal level because you're commenting and they get to know you because if you're commenting enough. And I remember I met somebody and she's like, you're Harpreet Kaur, this. And I said,
Wow.
yeah. And
Okay.
so it was like, wow, nice meeting you. So you get to know people.
She's like, you're my top fan. I need to
That's
keep you
so
happy. Well,
Oh,
what's the most? Have you guys ever met anybody famous that was social media famous? Anybody social media
Oh
famous?
yeah, I met is her name Manpreet Tour?
Yeah,
The
Manpreet,
dancer?
the dancer.
Yeah, I saw her at a different function. She was, I think, part of one of the organizers or something because she was there kind of behind the scene. But she came out and she was just doing whatever she needed to do.
Right.
Very sweet, very friendly girl. I was impressed by her like lack of like that
Celebrity
grandiosity.
arrogance.
Like I am a star. Like even though she's a pretty well known person, and by the way, she just recently got married. So
Everybody
And
congratulations
I
saw
to
saw
her.
the video on social
Everybody
media.
saw that.
Congratulations to her. I mean,
Congratulations. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
and then speaking about that, like I was watching her video and one of her dances is gotten like it's Instagram famous, so other people are like doing the same steps now, which is really cute.
Right.
But I noticed I was watching her dance, and I noticed some of the comments, like the negative comments that people were putting in there, and I was like, "There's this girl who's doing nothing but dancing at her like sangeet, let's say it was, and beautifully dancing. When you think about it, she's offered this up, this energy and this kind of a different, almost like we don't really have famous dancers per se. I mean, she's a famous dancer. And so it's like almost like she started a new like genre, right? To be like you can be a Punjabi or Bollywood dancer who's famous. And in return, what do people have to do? The one-liners, like this negative comments. And
Those are
it's just
to-
very
like you have to say how
disappointing.
toxic do you have to be in real life to go and post negative comments on someone else's post.
But I
like
think
that?
some of them are also bots, that we don't quite know who they are and what the intention is behind it. So it could be not real people.
Unfortunately, there are too.
I mean, there are
both.
real
Yeah.
people, but there are also some
is,
that is
yeah,
a
like you
mix.
said,
Yeah.
it's
It can be both.
yeah.
And in this case, so Curious Cat, I was like, who wrote such a negative comment? I want to see, because this was on TikTok. TikTok is not functional in India. So you know that anyone who's commenting on TikTok has to be outside of India. So I'm like, who is this? And I go look, and this person is like super, like, it was like super normal person and with followers and stuff, like normal amount of followers that we all have.
But then you don't know if that person's ID picture, profile picture is actually real.
Maybe.
I think there are a lot of people are just some of them are just having fun And that's the sad part. Them like almost like leaving these comments, to them it's funny, but they're putting so much, toxic energy out there, so much negativity out there. They don't care.
There's
That's the
also
unfortunate
biases,
part, yeah.
that why don't you just do this? You're getting older. You should just be staying home or going to your work and having a normal life. Like, why are you doing this? This is such a waste of time. They see it through their own personal lens. And you want to say, why don't you just admire
do
the
you.
person? You do you. She's being her, and leave her alone. This is, yes, some
But
of it is
it's-
very toxic.
What?
You notice that, and I feel like a lot of that criticism, I've noticed it's definitely skewed towards more criticism of women. It's women of certain age. So I was watching a video of Neeru Bajwa, who's like,
yes.
well-known, very well-known Indian Punjabi actress. And
She's
she's,
like #1 Punjabi actress right now,
and
too.
honestly, like, I think she's like 40 plus and she looks fabulous. Like,
Great.
I'm like, I want to know what her workout routine is because that's some great workout routine. And the comments were, you're an old woman, you're this and that. And I was like, the amount of ageism. Whereas you won't see that with a 40-year-old actor. You won't see like a
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ
male.
ਮੁੰਡਾ ਏ
ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ-
ਉਹ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦੀ movie ਦੇਖਣੀ ਹੈ. Seriously. They'll call him Munde up until 50. Remember the old actor like Yograj Singh, Gugu
Oh my
Gill?
God, yeah.
Okay, we had the store at that time. We used to get Punjabi movies and people would call them Munda. Oh, Munde di movie achhi hundi hai. Yograj Singh. At that time,
Well,
Yograj
even
Singh was
like,
like 50 years old.
Even like Bollywood actors, like Salman Khan is now 50 plus.
Yeah.
He's older than 55,
He's
I think.
easily
like 60 -ish.
57.
And then
yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan is like 57, something like that. I mean, they're past 55 for sure. And they are still considered like the main hero of the movie. But the actresses have to be younger and younger. So I've noticed those kinds of comments are
comments are
thrown
really
for
sleazy.
even those kinds of comments are even targeting even Bollywood actresses like Kareena Kapoor and
Kareena Kapoor gets
she gets a lot of
tons
hate.
of them
I've
for
never read
some
her
reason,
comments.
and she's gorgeous. Like, again, she's a mother of 3 children. Like, what are you expecting her to look like? 18?
She has 2 kids now. I thought she only had one.
No.
two.
She has at least 2.
She has 2.
Okay. So maybe 2. I don't know why I thought 3, but two kids, right? Mother of 2 kids, over 40. She's still coming in as the main actress in
Which
the movie.
is
But
amazing.
do you think that it's that sort of real life toxicity going into kind of penetrating social media? Because, a lot of people have crushes on Katrina Kaif. A lot of people had crushes on Manpreet Kaur, right?
Yeah.
So when she's moved on with her life, it's almost like now I'm going to turn and be very mean to her. And that's what we're seeing reflected in those comments. It's like this sort of, it's almost like this anger that they want to unleash on this person. And you see that in real life. You see it all the time. This girl rejected this person. She ended up dead. Like a few days later.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Those are great comments, Kavita. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. I think a lot of it is just I can't have her, or when I couldn't have her at one point.
Yeah.
Vipasha Basu is another example. She has a little daughter, and obviously Vipasha Basu is not going to be the Vipasha Basu of 20 years ago. She is a living person. She's not a paper doll, that you put in a closet and you 20 years later open and there she is. Still, she's not Barbie. She's a person. And so, but it's fine to say, you can even say, she doesn't, she used to look great before. You can even say something like that. But to call her names and
You're
really
labeling.
nasty.
You're labeling.
Yeah.
You're
and-
old.
You think they're
this,
trying to,
you're that.
and here's the thing also. They're trying to get attention. They think they're going to get attention from her.
'Cause they will.
By being mean to her.
You know what? I haven't thought about that, Kavita, but that's a really
That's
good
a good
point,
point.
right? That are they starving for attention? And it is a way,
Yeah.
and men do it, boys even do it. Like, sometimes they'll bully a little girl because they think she's cute, and teenagers do it as well, I think it's probably happened to all of us where there's just one guy who likes you, and that's the guy who's just going to call you names.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
There's literally a guy on social media. Okay. TikTok, I've seen him. I don't know about Instagram and stuff. he literally goes after every Punjabi influencer. Punjabi, as I say, Punjabi American, Punjabi
and
Canadian,
he's
or
himself.
he's I think he's out of UK, and he literally goes after each of these, criticizing what they're wearing, why they're wearing it, why they're out there communicating with other men. Just very
is this
very
person?
backward thinking.
Can
But
we
this
go
is-
bully
this-
him? Can we
He
turn
does
it
get
around?
called out though.
I
which is
would
good.
love like
I'm
which is
sure
good.
he's got.
But it's like nobody cares. Why are you doing this? You know, nobody wants to hear you.
But
Why are
you're
you putting
mentioning him
these-
though. Think about that.
You know
what I'm saying?
what's funny is that I used to think, because I would get his videos randomly, he would go to like Gurdwara events and stuff, and he's interviewing people about their some knowledge about Sikh or something. Well, then he just started doing these kinds of videos too, and I was like, where is this coming from? You seem like such a nice guy, you know, but so much toxic energy that they're putting out there. I don't know if he's doing it for clicks, or is he doing it with the, you know, with the true intention
But there's
of
this
trying to
one
bring people
lady,
down.
there's this one girl too, and again, it's for attention. Whatever, even negative attention is good attention for them because they want publicity. So she talks down to anybody who is living, practicing Sikh way of life. She'll give it a political spin. She makes it sound very ugly. I don't remember her name, but there is one, and I can,
There's a lot of
so it's
toxic
not
people
just
out there.
But what my point is that it's not just men. It's also, let's add some women in that mix too, because there's some of those
More-
as well.
I agree. But definitely more men, I would say, than women, just because naturally that is a tendency that we see, even in real life, right?
Yeah.
Even in real life. But let me ask you this, actually, before we move on to other things. What about, since we're talking about social media, what are the kind of posts that you don't like? That are you annoyed? That annoy you? I won't say don't like.
how
There's a lot of
much-
stuff you don't like.
how
What's the
much
one thing
time
that
do
you're
you
like,
have?
why do
I
people
am-
make these posts?
I'm a certified hater. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah. So I can look at, I'm very, you know, I judge so harshly. And that's one of my, like, you know, when you say like, what's your like one fault in life? That's my one fault. I judge and I try to not do
This
that.
is the kind of woman you were talking about?
No.
No, I'm just joking.
No, but seriously,
go on.
I judge so harshly.
go
And
on.
I, look, you know, the kind of posts I don't like
Yeah.
is just someone who's like, I'm a fairy. Like, I love everyone. And I am so like anything
Overly
that ends
positive?
I. The word when there's
Self-righteous.
when the word I is used way too much, and some people they do it. It's almost like every post they have is something about me. They will not comment on social issues. They won't because they want to be looked at as kind of this neutral.
Play it safe.
Yeah, playing it safe. And I'm like, yeah, positivity. Like if you look at the environment right now and, you know, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of, we've just been talking about it, you know, a lot of hate, a lot of negative comments and negative energy out there on social media. If you're not standing up for anything, if you're not standing up for the likes of women who get bullied and stuff like that, but then you're like, I'm so positive. Positivity has to come from, if you don't stand up for anyone and anything, then the idea of positivity is just a fluff cloud,
But
in my opinion.
okay, well, I appreciate your opinion. I if I may add, some people are just not that, okay? And they just don't want to be part of that conversation, and that's okay. Along the lines of what you just said, I think positivity, when it feels not genuine, that's when positivity is just annoying.
Yes.
Like, okay, you know, have a great day. Look, the flowers are blooming and blah, blah, blah. It seems so empty sometimes when you keep getting it over and over again. I don't know. Maybe they feel that they're putting something positive out in the world. And maybe their friends are like, yay, I love your posts. Okay.
Maybe. I'm just, you asked me a question.
No,
And I'm,
it's
just
okay.
I'm being as honest as I can. And like I said, I 100% agree that I can be very judgy. And I am judging. You know, I'm judging everything.
look, we're being petty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it's just something when I see, I'm like, what did you just put out there? Nothing. It's zero. I give it 0 out of 0. Like, if you want to actually put something positive out there, then put something positive out there. But this like intention
like
is
an
there,
empty
like an
word.
emptiness, and I guess maybe it doesn't seem authentic to me, and that's my problem.
Well, I think in real life too, there are people who will, let's say there's a situation, somebody's bullying someone, even at workplace, right? There are some people who may think it's wrong, but they're just not going to say anything because they're just going to be neutral. Those are bystanders, and this was a new word that we just introduced even in my class last week. But then there's a different kind of bystander who's called an upstander. An upstander is a person who stands up for somebody in a safe way. You know, if somebody is hitting someone, you obviously don't want to get attacked, maybe, but you may go and get help, right? Or you may help that person. Let's say somebody's being bullied. You may sit by them and say, hey, how's your day going? And so once there's at least one friend, usually bullies back off. So be an upstander and not bystander. But I think in social media, like you're saying, some people will just be that bystanders. They don't want to be, they don't want to comment on anything. They just want to, they want to be perceived. It's kind of like a very strong desire to be liked. They want to be perceived as likable. And so that's what they're going for. They just want to be liked by everybody. And that's where, and that's a fallacy. That's where there's a lot of logical fallacies on social media, right? Where logic fails. That's one of them. It's an appeal to being popular. It's the mindset of wanting to be popular.
Do you think it's a way like maybe they don't have anything important or wise to say, but it's a way to remind their friends, I'm still here. You know, don't forget me, you know? So they post in order to remind their friends, like, they still exist for a little attention.
So can we go back to that same question, and can both of you answer as well? Like, what are your posts that you don't like? Yeah, and then Banita, after that, you can tell us.
There's one type of post. I haven't seen that recently, but there's a trend, like 3 generations of men in one photo.
Oh, I haven't seen
5
that yet.
generations of men, 3 generations of women. Mostly it was men doing it for some reason. And I'm not like trying to bash men like consistently here, but it's like, no, don't do that. Like, it's like,
why not?
They're not looking good. It's like the 3 generations of not very good looking people. I'm sorry. If you want to do that, you better be looking really good so you can brag. But when you say, 4 generations of men or whatever, it just is like, man, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. And we're seeing, so just like you,
It's fine.
Okay, I'm
We are all
petty.
admitting- yeah.
Okay, I'm a certified hater just like you. I don't comment though. I just let it be. I let it pass. But there is a little part of me that's like, say something.
So now I think we have to just apologize for being authentic. In a way, I mean, I dare to say, is there anyone who like doesn't like something, So we're just going there, and we are going there. So, Banita, you can.
You
nice.
gotta
Bunch
now.
of
Yeah.
stuff.
You gotta beat
No,
me
just
and her.
one.
Yeah,
like
I'm trying to sort through my head which one I'm most certified hater of, and maybe the question should be, how are you a certified hater? Like, what kind of posts? I think for me it is people who are just kind of putting their picture out there for absolutely no reason. For example, it doesn't say anything. And it's all about just themselves. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on in the world. So here I am standing on top of the stairs. And then there might be a comment like, life is beautiful. And I'm just like,
Are you guys talking about the same person here?
and I'm just
like
these are like representations of many people. This
Right,
is not.
no,
yeah.
it's just
it's
it's just
true.
a
I
pattern.
feel like I've seen those.
No, there's
as well.
patterns of that kind of thing. Here I am standing next to my flowers or something like that, and just looking out at the world, and and then smiling. Smile doesn't cost anything. Smile is free, right?
Oh, like a little comment.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking, I think you want us to think that you are this very special person. Like, I want to give you a sticker every day because you are that's what you're
I
portraying.
think it's when they post something like that every day that it's like,
All
okay,
the
this
time.
is a little too much. But I think some people do that, especially you see a lot of people that are in India. They'll post something like this. And I think it's a way to connect with all the relatives, to let them know I'm here. This is what I did today. It's like a journal, you
But
know?
I think
It's-
these people are not just connecting with their families, they're putting it out there for general public. Can I add one more that I don't like?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
go
you
for
can
it. We love it.
go two more.
Like, yeah.
Somebody sitting there putting makeup on.
In a
anybody-
photo?
No, on
On
like
a
a
video?
TikTok, social media.
Oh,
you know,
that's like half of the
when
road.
I know. I don't
Okay.
like those videos.
They-
Like, why do I have to now look at your eye as you're putting your mascara?
And they're talking about something
eyeshadow?
completely different
Yeah.
other
Yes,
than makeup. I
yes.
think they do that to get
Or
attention.
play like a music in the back, like a Bollywood song or something, and I'm just like, okay, this is extremely. To me, that comes across immature.
But do
There's
you-
nothing bad. Sorry, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. It's just like a very immature, like a 15-year-old, and it might be some 30-year-old or 40-year-old posting it.
But let me ask you this. Do you watch those videos from start to finish because you're like listening to the message that they have, or because you're like, how's she going to finish her eye makeup? Like, I feel like that is
Sometimes
a...
you get sucked in.
So
yes.
you're
Yeah.
getting two for one? It's like a two for
one. Yeah, and they do it deliberately because they have a good message. They may be saying something really intelligent, but normally we don't want to just look at a person. You know, either they're eating something, right? There are some people who will say some wise things, but they're munching on the salad, and you're like, what salad are they eating? That looks so good. You know, I want to try it too. And then you're also listening to their message, and you end up watching the whole video.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get someone's attention on social media? Because there's so many, like, there's a lot of this fear of missing out. So people watch the next video, the next video, the next video until they find something they really like. So for you to stick around, watch that video for like 3 or 4 seconds, that's huge.
That is.
That
But
is
I think so. Here's a new question. New question is what do you think social media is good for, in particular for the Desi community?
Lots
Like,
of
how
things.
is it benefiting the Desi community? What do you think?
I want to go first because I need time to think.
I think lots of things. I think it is benefiting. It's making us feel connected, you know? So we're so used to the social media now that if I want to look at the benefits of social media for the Desi community, I have to think back 20 years when we didn't have it.
Yeah.
And when we didn't have social media, how did we connect? How did we know the problem that I'm having is the same problem that someone, on the other side of the state or country is having? And now it feels like we can, anything that is concerning with our community, we can put it out there very quickly, where there's situations where that do concern us. There could be political things, it could be health related stuff. We feel connected now. And interestingly enough, I feel like it's not just connecting with people within the city or state, even people, let's say somebody's in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's making us realize, at least it's making me realize that any one of us who are like NRIs, if you
Yeah.
will, right? Non-resident Indians who live outside of India, we're Desi community sitting outside of India, we're very similar. So what happens when we step out of India and we spend few years in another country, we become like each other. And it's like a different kind of, almost like a culture, a group of
Diaspora.
cultural group. Yeah. And we're very similar. And it's kind of it's an interesting thing to know.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would say is the main positive thing, other than, of course, like connecting with relatives, long lost friends. That's an obvious one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I agree. I think social media has been good for connecting our community at in a broader sense, where other narratives cannot be imposed on us anymore because social media, we can put our narratives out there, and then we can share our struggles, and the other thing, the beautiful thing I see is when one kid somewhere in UK or somewhere or Canada gets some sort of an award, first place in wrestling. Guess what? They're getting congratulations from all over the world.
Yeah.
Because we all feel that pride. And but that pride, so the representation is happening. That's what's happening. We feel like we're more represented in a broader sense, although there's a lot of work to be done, but at least it's better than 30 years ago, for example. But at the same time, that representation now, there's a higher level of responsibility that comes with it, because one person does something wrong, guess what? The entire world,
Baar
then,
de bache, kharaab ne.
not just bar de bache, but the non-Desi community judges
Us on
entire
the-
group very harshly.
All of us on the same one mistake that somebody might have made, some crime somebody might have committed. Certainly,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would say. What about you, Gupta? What's your
I mean, I think connectivity is such a big thing, right? Global connectivity. Me being the youngest of the family, I would not have known or had any sort of connection, interaction, even new names of some of my eldest cousins, right? I know them because of their activity on Facebook, my activity on Facebook. I mean, if you look at my likes, it's just, the same last name, like just, hundreds of us.
That
And I
Didi,
love
that
that,
Didi.
right? And I love it. And it allowed me a direct connection, because normally what would have happened is, here's my older sisters, they have a connection with the Didis because they had maybe spent a little bit more time with them. Eldest children always, I think, have more relationship with other family members. But the youngest sometimes kind of get disconnected. And in this case, it was like, oh, people know me now. People know who I am. People know what I do. It allowed us this direct communication, and I love that. So, and then also, piggybacking off of what you just said, I would say that, traditionally, if you remember, like in the 80s and 90s, there were so many movies of, baar de bache kharaab hunde ne, they're,
Vatno Dur.
ill-behaved. Yeah.
I still remember
that
Vatno Dur.
back in the day, right?
Oh my God.
Vatno Dur made
What a
in like Fresno or
disaster.
something.
I'm
There
sorry.
was
Yeah.
Giayanu, and so not Giayanu, I think there was another one after that. So many movies which showed like these kids
even
that were
Pardes?
ill-behaved,
Pardes
disrespectful,
made, NRIs look really
bad
bad.
habits, all
Yeah.
of that. I think through social media, they're like, oh, okay, we see these kids doing a lot of good stuff out there. For me, a lot of research into religion came from that too. And so, yeah, it's so many positives that came
when
out of
there's
there.
a like climate crisis, right? The floods in Punjab. Now globally we are
know.
supporting. So there's the fundraising. Every organization provided funds. COVID-19, globally we supported each other, right? That organization is doing it. Let's donate to that organization. And I think there's so much good that's come out of it. And like I said, our messages now can be global. And I think it was farmers' protest when I started learning like how to tweet. So the Twitter and how to make the hashtag trend and
I
all
see.
that, right?
I see.
So that I feel like I became social media savvy. I wouldn't call myself social media savvy, somewhat savvy.
Participant.
Yeah, somewhat
At least
savvy.
Instead of
Yeah.
lurking. They say 99% of the people are lurking.
like upstanding rather than bystander. I
Yeah.
became an upstander probably around that time.
Okay, there's also misinformation, right?
Yes,
So there is
wow.
right, we know all about the serious misinformation, right? But there's a fun one that's going around right now. I don't know if it's on Instagram and stuff. It's definitely on TikTok. There's this famous boxer, American, okay? Famous boxer. And for some reason, through AI, people have been putting out his videos. And sometimes he's in Amritsar. Sometimes he's eating like chole bhature. Sometimes he's cooking with another, Punjabi chef and stuff. And I'm like, at first I thought it was legit. I was like, wow, like how did he end up in like, Golden Temple and stuff? And he's speaking Punjabi, like really
my
pronouncing
gosh.
some words very correctly. And I'm like, is this real? And then it was like, he literally made a video saying, guys, the AI videos are getting out of hand. Like, can you just chill? But it's a fun one,
Yeah.
Okay, that's cute.
I've seen another fun one too, where a grandma is on her porch and she's always feeding very dangerous animals,
I've
like
seen that.
like a bear is standing. She's
I
like, "Now
thought it
be a
was
good
real.
boy, and here's a treat for you." And the bear just takes it, and she's like, "Nope, nope, not like that." And then the other day I saw like alligator, and she's like, "How dare you come here?" And then the alligator, and she hits him with her purse.
It looks so legit.
Yeah.
It's a grainy video, so it looks like it's like taken from like, one of those
Ring camera.
like a ring camera type of video. And a huge bear, okay? And she's feeding the bear from her hands. Like, I was
I've
like,
seen one of
"What
those
is this?"
too.
Yeah.
And I saw the bunnies jumping up and down on like, playing in a yard.
So those
It's
are all
just so
good. I
cute.
like, please make more of those.
Those are fun. Those
Yeah.
are fun. But I think it's when you're like, was this real? Like, they're so
Yeah.
real. They're
But
so
we
legit.
just got a message from our workplace from HR saying, please be careful what you guys post, even in your personal stuff, because some of it depends on also, the jobs people have,
Right.
how careful you have to be, even though you're not on the clock, but you still have to be careful what you put out there because, as an educator, maybe the students are reading it or their parents are reading it. So it's like, okay, you're the educator, but at the same time you're saying these things. So it can be in conflict with each other. So they've kind of advised us. They can't really mandate, but they've advised us, which for good reason, like for our
Right.
own safety too. And I think that's a good thing to remember. Just remember, once we put something out there, it's out there forever.
Right.
Even if you press delete, it's out there forever. So just be very careful with what we write, what we say on social media.
It's so true. Like, as a business owner, I've learned that, it's not just my personal opinions that I'm putting out there. Someone may use that to decide if they want to use our company or our agents for something. So I keep my personal opinions to myself to a point where my posts are like, here's my avocado tree. Look at the oranges.
Oh, are you that lady that
I
I was
am
talking
that
about?
lady.
I'm standing on top of
No,
the stairs.
I'm not even in them.
Okay.
It's just like I'm so happy with the orange tree because it's not political. It's not anything. And I usually put like, if I do post something, which I don't do very often, it usually has like an old Punjabi song, in the background. And I'm doing it for myself. It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
I don't care if somebody likes it or not, or my dog's videos, like you, right?
Yeah.
The dog videos are so cute because they're like,
The dog
they're cute,
videos are
right?
cutest.
They're cute.
So here's another flippity kind of a weird question. All the things you've said you don't like on social media, and you said you don't like, and I said I don't like. Have we ever done those things ourselves? Like, are
What
we?
kind?
Are
I
we?
have
Even
not
have
done
I
3
stood
generations
on top of the stairs
Yes.
and said, life is beautiful?
Yes. Have you ever done that? Like something similar.
think I
Doesn't
may
need to
have.
be exactly.
I may have.
Yeah.
I think it's when it's every day.
Yeah.
It's all the time. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
chill. You could do 1 per month. I'll give you that. Maybe once a week. But when you're doing it every day, it's a bit much.
I mean, in the example that you used with the Life is Beautiful center, I feel like, and I'm trying to think back, like the start of Facebook, maybe the first 3-4 years, I may have put a picture like that. I don't know. I feel like I might have been guilty of
Yeah.
that, but not
We're
frivolously.
guilty of a lot of things, especially when it's first
social
started.
media. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not frivolously. I might have actually genuinely been feeling life is beautiful and I wanted to share it with my friends. And maybe I did. I'm just saying that, we are
No, you
guilty
can't. No
of our
take-backs.
own.
No take-backs. You
We
can-
are guilty. We are definitely
Out
guilty.
yourself.
We're definitely guilty of, the crimes
Yeah.
that we are
Absolutely.
outlaying here.
Do you think that our pettiness today shows or highlights the change in how social media is used? Like the
Yes.
sort of how everyone's evolved on social media, and some people just haven't evolved enough to realize, like, hey, that's outdated. Like,
That's a
now
Maybe
great
there's
nobody's
nothing
point.
else happening in their life.
No, but
Just
let's
kidding.
not.
That's
but
me being
that's even
judgy.
more
That's-
petty. That's
That's
more
very
petty.
mean.
Judgy.
Don't be mean. But you're right. I agree with Kavita that I think in the beginning, the first 5 years of Facebook, it was used completely different. If we go back to
I'm
our
embarrassed.
post,
It was.
it's embarrassing. Like the kind of stuff we were putting out there. It was, but that's what we were all doing, and it was fine. It's like social media is maturing or it's actually evolving, and we're evolving with it. And it's kind of like that, let's say if you look at your picture 10 years ago and you're wearing a dress or you have some kind of a style that you're like, ew, like, what am I wearing? It's kind of like that because now those actions are captured. And it's like looking at an old picture. Looking at an old social media post that you did yourself is like looking at an old picture where you're wearing an out of fashion outfit or
At
your
that time, it was very
hairstyle is
trendy.
out of fashion, something, and it was trending at that time. It's kind of like a time capsule.
It's a time capsule.
Yeah. And so I think we have to kind of underline that and highlight that. And like, we're not just judging other people. It is, we have been like, we've done some of those crimes ourselves.
We
for
sure
sure.
have. We sure have.
Yeah.
But I think, I believe, was it Assam or some state in India where the government had made a policy that you should not be putting any pictures of your children, minors, on social media. Because what was happening is, if you think about it, there was a point to it that babies, for example, they have no choice to say, don't put me on social media. So a lot of these kids are growing up where people know them so much more than they ever would have wanted to tell about themselves. So they're saying for that reason, maybe that is parents need to regulate that part because you're making your child so public without their consent.
And I think sometimes people did it innocently.
Yeah.
Not realizing who's looking at these photos, making them public at the same time, not knowing that they can control, who can see these photos. And I think, especially in Desi culture, I've seen it here and there where they post like completely nude photos of their kids.
gosh.
And it's like, no.
Like
I've
giving a
seen
bath
that
to the
too.
baby.
Yeah. Which they innocently
And
do.
as the baby grows up, it's going to be like,
everybody, like,
No, seriously,
right?
the standard for, I think especially, I hope nobody's doing that now, but I think in the beginning stages of like, let's say Facebook, people were sharing way too many pictures of their children. And compromised pictures. What I would say is like that child now, who's probably like a teenager now. Let's say they were 2 at that time. They want those pictures deleted, and hopefully, they might not even realize that their parents' old Facebook has all kinds of pictures of them.
Along those lines, have you seen those? And these really piss me off. Of people who go into, like, let's say some kind of slum or a small village, and then they want to pretend to be a savior, and they will take pictures with like the kids in that village, or let's say they built a home for some poor family, and now they want photos with the entire family, especially the kids and stuff. And I'm like, did the parents have the right to say no? Did you ask the parents? And if you ask the parents, do you think the parents felt like they had the right to say no? Because you wouldn't do that to your kids. You wouldn't want your kids' photos out there in public. Why would you do that to somebody else?
And see, that brings the conversation to the legality behind just online, social media, digital content in general, because it's moving so fast that even our policymakers can't keep up with it. So, for example, like if the content is generated through AI, let's say, well, who owns it? There is no particular owner of it. So it's right now where we stand, it's the one who created is the owner, but you didn't really create it. You see? So there's these conversations, and they have not been able to regulate this whole phenomena. Like, how do we copyright social media? So people who have integrity, they'll just say, there's a way to cite now with citations and all that. This was generated by ChatGPT or AI, but you don't have to.
It's not obvious till you see, like, really in the fine print in the caption. If you read the caption, you're like, what is this all about?
And then minors
That you'll
being
know.
like you're talking about consent. Like, did they have the right to say no? Were they informed? Right, the informed consent.
Yeah.
That again, how do you regulate that on social media? It's very difficult to regulate. So these policies are not there yet. It's like the wild, wild west of social media right now.
It's the wild, wild west of a lot of things, even including AI. I mean, when you think about it now, I'm hearing that there's a AI actress that they came up with,
Yes, yeah.
right? But I was thinking about it in a deeper way and going, okay, so this is the first one, and we're all fascinated. We're like, wow, okay, this is interesting. Where is this going? Now, she looks like a very normal looking girl, but you know what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is if there's, let's say, an AI programmer who's sitting out there, he's like, okay, I want this woman to have like the best figure. Okay, so he gets different body parts from different actresses, and suddenly, I hope I'm not giving ideas to people, but this is
I'm
what's
sure
gonna
they've
hap-
already thought about
yeah.
it.
And then suddenly, this is like perfect woman, right? So this is the actress, perfect woman, and what's going to happen in the future? We used to complain about in the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s that these magazine.
The magazine. covers.
Magazine covered models is what we have to compete with, and they're not normal. They're
Unrealistic.
airbrushed
Yeah.
and all that. Imagine this is like on the thousandth degree. I don't even know the problem where our future generations will have to compete with these AI.
AI
Beyond
figures.
unrealistic.
Yeah, beyond unrealistic.
But recently when they had the strike, I think it was the Actors Guild had a strike, maybe about a year or so ago. This came up because they were saying it should be in the contract that you cannot recreate an actor as an AI image, and so the actor should have the right to control who gets to use their image.
Well, also they were saying they can, for example, like let's say you're watching Seinfeld or something, or any sitcom. There's those extras in the back. Let's say you're in a restaurant and there's people sitting. They can take your image and they can create an AI version of you, and they never have to call you back.
Right.
So that's what the protest was about. Like, you can't do that. You can't just use my voice, my image, my identity to create an AI figure.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. I put some questions for you guys, a little quiz. Okay.
Love that.
To test your social media knowledge.
Okay.
To see if you guys read up on this topic before coming here today.
We're just talking from our lived
The answer is
experiences.
MySpace. No.
Lived experiences.
MySpace. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the question is this pretend or legit?
Okay.
So
the answer
So
is
we don't
either
do
it's-
true or false around here. We're going to do pretend or legit.
Okay.
Right? Okay. First question. Facebook is the most used social media app in India. Pretend or legit?
Pretend.
I would
What would you
say pretend.
Pretend. What do you think is used the most?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Of
Okay.
course.
So it's actually Instagram.
Oh,
So
Okay, that
Instagram
makes
surpassed Facebook.
Okay.
And now they're about, I think it's 392 million users in India. And India has the most amount of users on Instagram. So the country itself, if you compare countries, India is number one as far as users on Instagram.
But isn't Instagram part of Facebook company?
it's the same
It is.
company. Yeah.
It is. But they're,
so is
they're calling
WhatsApp.
it different.
So
I
is
know,
WhatsApp.
They control so much.
But that's interesting. Like, can I comment on that?
go for it.
It's no matter which platform you talk about, because of the sheer population of India,
It's gonna.
and even if maybe rather than the most users, it should be the most saturation of users. Because India, you could have let's say 100 people in each village.
Yeah.
Or maybe like let's say 5% of the population using a certain platform. It's going to be much more than Iceland, no matter what. You could have 1% of the population, and it's still going to be more than a lot of the other countries. So
the
it
raw
has
numbers are going to be
the raw numbers. So it's just
Do you think also because they don't have TikTok in India and Instagram
Probably.
is kind of like another softer version of TikTok, and that's why Instagram has surpassed Facebook as far as use?
Yeah. And can I comment on one? This is just an interesting observation or a fact of TikTok. The fact that TikTok is not in India. I've heard this from multiple younger people who use TikTok actively, that the reason they use TikTok, and I'm talking about Desi kids, our kids, anyone in the 20s, let's say, or even early 30s, like the reason they use TikTok is because they say they get less negative comments because it's not in India. So that The people in India don't have. I've heard
I
that
didn't
from
know
multiple
that.
people, and I was surprised because first I thought, okay, this is just
That's
one person's
interesting.
opinion. Then I asked someone. Then I said to someone else who's very active on TikTok, I'm like, you know what? You need to build up your Instagram presence as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because TikTok is always so shaky as far as like it's here today, gone tomorrow. You know, and they were like,
It's
well,
always in hot water.
it's always an odd. So they were like, yeah, I've thought about it. The only reason I don't use Instagram is because TikTok tends to be a little more positive because it's not in India and Instagram is. So something for people in India to
But
think
TikTok
about.
was in India.
It was
It
before.
used to
yeah.
be.
So here's another reason why people just sort of transition to TikTok, especially creators. So as far as views, so when you watch Facebook and Instagram, you have to watch something for 3 seconds for it to be considered viewed.
Okay.
TikTok, as soon as the video starts, that's viewed. So when you put something on TikTok, you're gonna get like 25,000. If it's interesting, semi-interesting, you may get like 25,000 views. Whereas on Instagram, it'll be like 5,000.
Okay, interesting.
So the number of views, they're very generous, which is great because it feels good and it
Why
looks
not,
good,
right?
and why not, right? So I absolutely get it, but that's another reason is that TikTok is just very generous with considering something as viewed versus Instagram and Facebook, and with YouTube, it's 30 seconds.
Oh wow. So you really have to watch it to be.
I don't know about their short form, but the long form videos that they have, it's 30 seconds for it to be considered
But
viewed.
in a way, that makes it more credible.
legitimate. Yeah. I mean, it does give it more credibility. Yeah.
That's true, and
Your
it's hard to
next
get.
question.
And it's interesting that we don't consider YouTube didn't come up in our conversation as social media when it actually is.
I had to Google that. I was like, is YouTube?
It's
social
totally
media or
social
not?
media.
Yeah.
It is
you know?
social media.
I'll say one thing about YouTube is what's interesting about YouTube. So I tend to probably consume YouTube more than any of the other social media. The reason I consume YouTube is I always look up. There's a lot of topics that I'm very interested in. So let's say if I'm cleaning the house, I'll look up like some topics. I'm not going to say which topics I'm very interested in, but I will like just search those out and in the hopes of listening to something or watching something while I do something kind of brainless. Like let's
I
say
do
if I'm
the same
cooking.
thing too. I look up topics.
The problem is, and what I've noticed now is because YouTube is smart. So what they do is they will, when you go first go into YouTube, they'll start their shorts first. Okay, and shorts is like literally being in Instagram. Like you literally go from one to the other to the other to the
They're
other.
really
Next
trying
thing
to
you know,
push
you
those,
wasted half an hour. And I have to intentionally make sure that I will like avoid all shorts and go into my video. Like I am now managing
Like,
YouTube's
take a deep
like
breath. Now I'm gonna go on
psychological warfare. It's like that.
Yeah.
And another interesting thing about social media, can I say one more
Yeah.
thing before we go to truth and legit? Or pretend and legit, is that a lot of the younger generations, they're starting to think of social media channels, if they run them, as careers. So, a long time ago, we used to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they would say, doctors, firefighter, police. Now it's, I'm going to be a YouTuber,
Right.
or I'm going to be an
Influencer.
influencer. And we just had that conversation like last week or 2 days ago. And I said, sorry, those are not careers. Yes, people are making monies, but that's not necessarily your career. Career is you are skillful at a certain, it's you trained for it, you spend time on it, you getting that training, you have expertise now. YouTube doesn't require so much training, or influencer, it requires time and effort, but not some skill, particularly something. I don't know.
Well,
That's
we-
my
we
opinion.
can-
I do
yeah.
not consider
I
it
mean,
a
can I
career.
just
Yeah,
one thing? On that topic, it does build careers when you see people like Lily Singh, who started off from, just doing YouTube funny videos, and then now she's built such a huge career, an empire.
But she's
with
an
her brand.
these are exceptional cases. It's not a norm.
I think what the reason she's not, it's not difficult, but the people who make it are the people who treat it like a job. Like, this is something I'm going to dedicate my time to. I'm going to perfect this art. I think where people kind of fall short is when they don't realize how much it takes
that's right.
to be successful in that industry, because it is very competitive, right? You were saying something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that to me is if you want to be an influencer, you have to be influencing something.
Something.
And in order to influence something, you have to know something. And I'm not saying that this has to be like an engineer or a doctor. It can be any kind of skill. Let's say you dress really well, and now you can be, and people are always asking you for advice, or you know how to tie a sari. It can be a simple skill as well. That you can be an influencer now, because now you can, instead of telling your neighborhood, it's almost like that neighborhood person that everyone goes to for financial advice or fashion advice or makeup advice. Now that neighborhood person can be on Instagram and be known worldwide and can make money out of it.
Right. No, it's true. Okay. Do you still want to do pretend or
Yeah,
legit?
yes.
Pretend or legit. An
love
average
games.
person an average person spends approximately 3 hours and 43 minutes on social media.
If
Legit.
YouTube is counted, legit.
Legit, both of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually the average is 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Okay.
But the country that has the most is Philippines, and I believe Vietnam. Theirs is at 3 hours and 43 minutes on average.
So they're above average.
They're above
that.
average.
It would be interesting to see their economic data to see how it correlates with their online time usage. Is it helping them or is it impeding it?
I mean, they're very successful. Like, they're very hardworking people.
They're hardworking,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, as a country, like that would be interesting thing to find correlations. Is it positive correlation? Is it negative correlation?
That is interesting. Okay. Pretend or legit, an average teen spends 5 hours a day on social media.
I want to say legit, but I think 5 hours is a little bit too much, so I'm going to say pretend.
What do you think?
I'm going to say legit.
Legit. So you said legit, you said pretend. So it is legit. And so teens approximately spend about 5 hours a day on social media, with girls using TikTok more and boys using YouTube more.
So boys are going to more credible places?
Not necessarily.
I know,
I'm just raising these questions.
Look,
'cause these are the
TikTok,
questions
I
that come to your
consume
mind.
a lot of information from TikTok. You get exposed to new things, new ideas.
But YouTube requires more attention sustainability. So that's interesting. It raises some questions, like what's going on in that realm.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Okay. True or false? WhatsApp is the most used social app worldwide.
True.
What do you think? Sorry, pretend or legit?
Oh,
Even I'm
okay.
forgetting.
Okay. Legit.
Legit. Harpreet.
What's the question?
Okay. WhatsApp, your favorite app, remember? Okay, is the most used social app worldwide.
I think so. Legit.
Legit? Okay. Facebook is the most used social media app with 3 billion users.
I wasn't thinking Facebook. I was comparing it with like Signal and
Right.
those kinds of.
And then there's and
Encrypted
so I read
apps.
that YouTube is 2.5 billion, and then it's Instagram and TikTok, I think. Sorry, Instagram and WhatsApp are about 2 million, and then WeChat is about 1.5 billion.
What's WeChat?
Okay, that's the Chinese app. Or I think it's in Mandarin, I shouldn't say, but I think it's based out of China. It's a lot of the Chinese individuals use it, and it's very popular. In fact, I met somebody the other day, and they were saying, oh, we have, I was like, so how do you get your customers in your business? And she said, oh, we just have a WeChat group, and there's like 3,000 people in that group, and I just post what I have to sell, and people come in and they buy my stuff. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
WeChat.
1.4 billion users. That's amazing.
That is.
That we don't know about it.
But it's less than Facebook. Facebook is the most.
3 billion.
highest. Okay.
3 billion. So 8 billion people worldwide, right? out of those, they say about 5 billion people use social media. Okay. So almost everybody.
Basically everybody.
Basically everybody, unless you live in the mountains somewhere. Okay, true or false, or pretend or legit, about 30% of all businesses use social media.
30%?
About 30%?
It should be more than that.
What do you think?
So at least 30% legit.
Legit. Okay, so it's 50%, but yeah, part of it's true. India has the most social media users.
Legit.
Legit.
Legit,
Because
okay.
it has the most highest
Users.
population in the world.
It has the most
Close. It's pretend. China has the most social media
okay,
users.
that can make sense.
It's like population,
Almost
right?
the same,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like 1.1 billion Chinese, and Indians. It's about 500 million users of social
But
media.
it also depends on like how they collected this data. Because
And technology.
technology and what did they use? What did they consider was social media? So, who knows? It's probably very close competition.
It was very interesting because they don't say social media users; they'll say these are social media identities.
So just
so it could be
accounts.
like 10 people. I mean,
Accounts.
it could be 10 accounts, but one person.
Yeah.
So they can't really tell if it's
There's
the
no way
same
to
individual
tell.
or different individuals. So
That's true.
they could just have a troll farm,
That's, true.
right? So that's been interesting. So anything else you want to add on social media?
How do we get rid of it?
How do we get rid of the? I feel
Can we
bad. The
just-
good morning text that I get on WhatsApp, I go in there like once a week or once in 2 weeks, and then I'm like, oh, this nice person sent me this message.
morning
I
message.
feel bad. I didn't say anything. There's so much guilt for not
Yeah,
responding.
yeah.
And, that's not my behavior in real life. If somebody said good morning to you, I would be like, hey, good morning to you too.
You know what my problem is this? My problem with social media is it's like way too many communication channels we have now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was nice when Facebook first started, it was like, oh, now I don't have to get the phone number of that cousin that I wanted to connect with because now I can reach her on Facebook.
Well,
And-
video calls, right?
yeah. But
That's a huge plus.
the video calls we can do too. I agree. But now I feel like there's way too many communication channels. So someone could send you a message on WhatsApp and you never saw it because you were busy with the 5 other social media platforms that you're trying to manage. Oh, and then don't forget LinkedIn. Can we
Yes.
mention
Oh,
LinkedIn
God, so
for the sake
boring.
of
So boring.
Yeah, I
love LinkedIn.
I should do stuff on LinkedIn, but it's like every time I
That's
go in
one
there,
of my
the
favorite
emails galore.
apps.
So my problem with LinkedIn is I get way too many connection requests, and and I don't know which one is legit and which one's pretend. And when I say pretend, I mean a salesperson reaching out to me. So I'll get. If I accepted all the connection requests, I would have thousands and thousands and thousands of
Messages.
connections, which make me look really good, but they would be very, the quality of the data would not be good. So LinkedIn for me is almost like a wasted platform. And I wish there was a way to almost like, this is an idea to LinkedIn, if there's a way I could segregate and kind of classify my connections. So I could say, this connection is a salesperson, okay? This connection is a personal connection, means I've either worked with that person or I have some kind of like business relationship with this person. So, and this is a potential future connection that I really like their stuff. And maybe I can reach out to them and I can classify them. So can we get classifications of contact? Just an idea.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
See, LinkedIn for me has been so good.
Snooze fest. Go ahead.
No, it's been so
LinkedIn
good
is so
because LinkedIn, well, one, of course, it's for networking, right,
Right.
with people far away. But I've actually financially gained from being on LinkedIn.
how so?
Where I've gone job offers, I've gotten contracts like consulting for different things. It's all those people are on LinkedIn. And so for me, LinkedIn has been very beneficial career-wise.
So I use social media a lot for work, actually. I don't use it actively for personal, but for work I do. And it's almost like you have to. It's free advertising. Why wouldn't I put my stuff out there, right?
Exactly.
But here's the problem with LinkedIn. It's like all these people that are in my industry, I can't really sell to anybody. So that's why like I don't use as much LinkedIn,
Yeah, it's
which
not for selling
right.
purposes.
So it's like, okay, well, I need the direct clients. And so that's why the TikTok, the Facebook and stuff. And look, I actually do paid advertising on those platforms and it's very affordable. Like it's a shame for a business not to use it for that purpose, you know, to benefit them.
Yeah.
One good thing that I've noticed with LinkedIn users, okay, consistently I've seen that it's meant for sort of like professional connections, right? So sometimes I'll see, especially out of India, I'll see like some posts that are political, or posts that are like just self promotion stuff, nothing to do with the business or anything.
Right.
The comments under there are critical of that, and to say, hey, this is
not the platform
LinkedIn,
for
this is
that.
for Facebook, you should post on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which they're correct though.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. I'm praising that
Uh-huh.
action, and I'm like, it's kind of it is because it's a professional kind of boring platform, if you will. I think the people on it are kind of like straight nosed, and they will say like, look, you know, this is not the right place to post whatever it is that you're posting outside of a professional post.
I had a very long sort of gap between using LinkedIn, even going on LinkedIn. Actually, I still don't use it. But when I went back on it recently, I started to see, not just India, but even over here, like more of these political posts. And it's like, I think these are newer users that are getting on LinkedIn, that are getting to know, hey, this thing exists. Let's get on LinkedIn. But their habits are still from like the Facebook stuff. Right?
Yeah, social media.
Yeah.
They're thinking this is another Facebook type of channel when it's not.
Right.
You know, and they're wasting an opportunity to actually connect with professional people where they could gain financially, you know, the way I found stuff on there. Even like some of my co-authors on publishing articles we connected on LinkedIn.
Didn't you guys? I'm sorry. Didn't you guys learn? Connected with somebody like in another country and started learning Urdu
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
from them?
we
Was
did.
it both of you guys, right?
Yeah, that was from WhatsApp.
It was from Facebook and then WhatsApp,
WhatsApp,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did try to learn
was so
how to write
fascinating, yeah.
Shamuki, and then I think both of us kind of gave up on it because it is difficult. It's more difficult. Now we're kind
If
of
you don't
derailing, but it's like
practice, yeah.
Punjabi is a little more like writing Gurmukhi is very intuitive with rules and stuff. So
see.
whereas Shamuki is almost like English, where
What is Shamuki?
It's the written script
Arabic
of
script,
of
but
Punjabi.
you're writing Punjabi.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it has more it's more complicated, kind of like English, like you have to learn spelling almost.
I didn't know it actually had a term. Like I didn't know that there was an actual
it
word. Describing it. That's very fascinating.
Yes.
I always thought, oh, it's just Arabic, but there's it's Punjabi, but using Arabic alphabet. But I didn't realize that there actually was a term that described it.
Yeah, it's called Shamuki.
Shamuki.
Yeah.
And then there's Gurmukhi and Shamuki. Wow.
Yeah, but and that's the other thing I like about WhatsApp. Not for all the good morning messages I get and other stuff. Yes, it can be very annoying, but I think WhatsApp, sometimes you want to post a video and Facebook would say it's too long.
Yes.
WhatsApp, you can easily send
Really?
longer media. Yeah, you can share longer media through WhatsApp.
There is, yeah.
How long of a message are you sending
No,
to
no,
people?
no, but like a
media
video.
meaning video.
Oh, video. Okay.
So
okay.
if it's like a 3-minute video, Facebook's gonna say, "Would you like to send a
Oh,
little
I see.
clip of
Okay.
it?" WhatsApp, it's easily transferable.
And by the way, the times I've actively used WhatsApp and it's been a great tool is when I had those long videos, and it was when we were trying to get like, you know, let's an Android to communicate with an iPhone, and you can't directly send videos and still maintain that same quality. I don't know if it's changed now, but a few years ago it was like that. And so I would use WhatsApp to send messages or send videos to people.
The other thing on WhatsApp
very
is
helpful.
whatever your group is, let's say we have like all the cousin group, right? If I can call, press phone, and it'll dial the entire group. So 15 people could be on the call together.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't
So
know you could do like a conference
little
call.
phone icon up there, if you press it, it's going to ring at 200 spaces if there's 200.
And you've done
contact.
that.
We've done that for other purposes, but I haven't called
don't call
my
every-
family group. They're all going to be like, what's going on here? Yeah.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall, though, if
Yeah.
you did that with the family. I just want to listen in.
If you one more benefit of WhatsApp, and that's why it's so popular, especially in India, is like, let's say if you're traveling and you don't have a phone service, so let's say we're traveling from here and we go to any other country, right? And you don't want to turn on the phone service because it costs extra to turn that on. You can use WhatsApp to make phone calls as long as you have Wi-Fi. And that's the reason, like, whenever we travel internationally, that's when I'm heavily using WhatsApp.
And
Otherwise,
I
I
think
don't.
maybe that's why a lot of the Indian contacts, they'll say, can you send me your WhatsApp number? Because it may be less costly for them to make calls on WhatsApp than anything else.
Yeah, because it's not using your minutes or whatever it is. I don't know what the system
I
is
mean,
in
I
India.
remember, guys, people used to spend so much money on phone
Phone
cards
cards and
to
all
call
that.
India, to call abroad. And I guess this is the great thing about social media in general, at least Facebook, WhatsApp. You can make those calls, it's free. As long as you have good Wi-Fi, you will be able to connect. And that's adding to that connectivity of people.